2025 seems as though it's been a year of us focusing on stablecoins and just tokenization. But the thing is that these are two of the largest topics being talked about by the biggest players. And what I mean by that is we're talking about governments, we're talking about asset management companies, institutional players, you name it. Every large player out there is talking about either stablecoins or tokenization. And the question is, why? Well, stablecoins enable everything. I talked about this on multiple occasions. Everyone thinks that stablecoins are just, a dollar equivalent. But this is where everyone is kind of getting stablecoins wrong. Stablecoins are an enabler of everything. They are an enabler of tokenization at scale. They are an enabler of, DeFi use cases, institutional DeFi. It enables everything around crypto. And they are the killer use case as well around crypto, which impacts the underlying networks in a very positive way and creates demand for the gas token. So if we're thinking about this, XRP, HBAR, Algo, a lot of these great utility-based projects will start to really increase in value as the use of stablecoins on these networks also increase significantly. But I bring this up because we now just witnessed one of the largest changes around crypto globally. And it all starts with stablecoins. So let's actually take a look at ROUSD. ROUSD has a total supply now of 517, almost 518 million. The volume on ROUSD is up 276%. It's sitting at 1.67 billion. ROUSD is going crazy right now. And on top of this, if we go over here to RWA.XYZ, we can see the growth. It's up 27, almost 28% in the last 30 days in terms of total value. Holders up 3.33% at almost 34,000. And the monthly transfer volume is up 18%, almost at $3 billion. Sorry for interrupting the video, but I have to let you guys know that I am now officially partnered up with ITrustCapital, the best platform out there for premium custody accounts and even crypto Roth IRAs. They offer 80 plus digital assets, including even physical gold and silver. They have partnerships with some of the biggest players out there, and they also have full-on institutional grade security tied into these accounts, which is extremely important at a time where we are starting to see more and more crypto exchanges being hacked. And also, the best part about ITrustCapital is that it's 100% US-based support. And also, you can get $100 right now as a funding bonus if you sign up utilizing my link. There's going to be a link down in the description below as well as in the comments below. If you go over here, you can just scroll down to the bottom and you can sign up utilizing my link, which allows you to get $100 in a funding bonus. And for a little bit more information here you have on their website, 0% no monthly annual fees, 1% cryptocurrency transaction fees, and then we also have the prices with gold and silver. So if you guys do want to go check this out, you guys are more than welcome to. I do think that this is the best platform to lock in on long-term crypto investments with, of course, the crypto IRA platform, which is tax advantaged. So with that being said, let's dive on in back to the video. Monthly active addresses are up 23.75% in the last 30 days, almost at 3.7K. And these continue to really rise over the last, I would say on the more long-term scale since the beginning of this year. This has just been steady growth. You can see it even here in terms of the tokenized asset value. You can also see it in terms of the holders and the active addresses. I don't have my sign in here, one second. All right, I just had to sign in real quick. If we actually look at the holders and also the active addresses, these are both steadily increasing. Obviously, this one goes by monthly, but overall, the active addresses are pretty stable. Transfer volume, this continues to rise month over month. In June, we recorded over 2.6 billion. Right now, we're at about roughly almost 1.6. I do think that this will continue to rise as well. But overall, we love to see stablecoins really succeeding, specifically ROUSD. And the reason why is because of how big this will be for XRP and the XRPL. We also know that there's way more stablecoins on the XRP ledger than what we're actually seeing on RWA.XYZ. If we actually go to XRP on RWA.XYZ, there's only 2 stablecoins here, okay? And when we think about that, we have to, go back and just look at the live update from the beginning of June, which told us that there's 5 stablecoins launched officially on the XRP ledger. We're not mentioning BBRL, which is also another one. So if we think about all the stablecoins on the XRPL, there's about 7 stablecoins in total if we're accounting for USC as well. So if we think about what's happening here, the stablecoin boom on the XRPL started going all the way back to ROUSD. Today, stablecoins are probably one of the most important things to actually focus on because they are becoming legitimate money. The government is now embracing stablecoins. The government is telling us that stablecoins actually help the US dollar and help fiat currencies. This is a huge signal that they are going all in on stablecoins. Now, on top of this, we just got a big update from an ex-Goldman executive that said crypto regulation will unlock trillions and help the US solve the deficit. What they are talking about here in terms of regulations, well, they're mainly talking about stablecoins, but also the Market Clarity Structure Act. But check this out.
If this legislation passes and they have to be backed one-to-one with super safe assets, you're talking, what do you think the number is? Upwards of $3-4 trillion in demand for treasury bills over the next decade, possibly?
Yeah, obviously nobody knows, but I think smart people are using trillions as the sort of the ballpark around which they guess what the scale of adoption is going to be of stablecoins. Think about it. Right now, all the payments that we do in the American economy operate under 20th century technology. So we're right on the verge of a payment revolution as a result of the Genius Act. The House will pass it tomorrow. The president will sign it into law probably on Friday. And then we'll see pretty rapid implementation. And for every issuance of a tokenized dollar, $1 will be held in reserves, typically in the form of U.S. treasuries. So right now, stablecoin issuers around the world are the 16th largest holders of U.S. treasuries. By some estimations, stablecoin issuers will become the largest holders of stablecoins, bigger than China, bigger than Japan. And I think that's critical at this point of high debt in the U.S. economy.
But it's so hilarious because by being the biggest holder of treasuries, they're facilitating the deficit. And then they turn around and go, if you're worried about deficits, you should buy Bitcoin. And it's like perfectly served up. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a productivity boost, right? So what you want is not just wealth transfers. You don't want an economy that's static and stale. You want an economy that facilitates productivity growth. That's ultimately how you grow our way out of the deficits and the debt that we have. And so stablecoins will be a huge efficiency gains. There's no reason at all, if I were to send you $1 on Venmo or on any other payment mechanism, I think it gets to you instantaneously, but it takes 3 days, 4 days, 5 days to get to you for no reason.
And yeah, listen, when we are thinking about how much money is now going to be really flooding into this space because of regulations, it's enormous. And he's 100% correct when it comes to this because all the smart people are now saying trillions, trillions. They're not giving us a number to go off of. It's just trillions because it's almost impossible to really put a number on this. We just know that asset management companies with trillions in assets under management are now jumping in. Institutional players are jumping in. Governments are jumping in. It really is, unlimited. We really don't know how much money is about to be unlocked because of regulations. Now, the US just unlocked trillions because over here we have the Clarity Act just passed the House in a vote of 294 to 134 with 78 Democrats voting in favor. More than double the 35 expected and more than the 71 who voted to pass Fit 21 last year. This is a really big win for crypto. Now on to Genius. Now, the Clarity Act was the market structure bill. This is huge for the entire market, and Genius is the stablecoins. So the fact that we got market structure bill fully passed through is huge for regulatory clarity for crypto in the US. The Genius Act also passed in the House. This is huge. We are now so close, inches away from having crypto fully regulated and having full clarity for crypto as well in the US. We also got a video from Tom Emmer. Today, the House will vote on historic legislation to keep digital asset innovation in America, solidify the US dollar as a global standard, and protect the privacy rights of the American people. Watch to learn about these bills. And here we have a little bit of an insight on exactly how important these bills are.
Well, there are 3 bills that we're going to be addressing today. One is a dollar-backed stablecoin bill called the Genius Act that came out of the Senate. This is a bill that literally is about exporting U.S. dollars all around the world. It may not be as big domestically to start with, although I think eventually it will be. But think about that cab driver down in Brazil who would love to do business in U.S. dollars, and right now he can't. But with a dollar-backed stablecoin, he'll be able to. This is about exporting U.S. dollars and solidifying the reserve currency status of the U.S. dollar. The other one is called the Clarity Act. This is a market structure bill. The problem we've had with getting new investment into this country is people don't know what regulator they're dealing with. They don't want to spend all kinds of legal fees fighting with the government over whether they're cash and they deal with the Treasury, whether they're a security and they deal with the SEC, or whether they are a commodity and deal with the CFTC. This gives clarity so people understand what they have to do business in this country. And then the last one, which is my bill I've been advocating for probably 5 or 6 years, is a prohibition of a central bank digital currency. Why is that important to our national security, Allison? Because for years, even Republicans years ago were saying, oh, we're falling behind the Chinese. They have the digital yuan. You know what they use that for? That is a surveillance tool. They surveil their citizens. They build social scores based on your purchases, your habits, etc. That is completely against any American value that we know of. And we've got to prevent our central government from ever creating this surveillance tool here in the United States of America. Very important bills.
So yeah, this is a very important time for any crypto holder to really start paying attention to what's happening, because this is changing everything around crypto, specifically in the US, which will impact the entire world. Because what America is doing will also accelerate everything happening outside of the US as well. Now, we also heard from Brian Steele, the Web3 race is here. Implementing clear regulations with clarity and genius will protect consumers and ensure U.S. leadership in digital assets. Check this out.
As we look out and see the coming of Web3, really with a fundamental principle in blockchain technology, we need to make sure that we have the rules of the road here as this new technology is coming online. Further, what we're currently operating in is not no regulation. What we're currently operating in is poor regulation designed for a previous era. And so what we saw with Chairman Gensler as chair of the SEC under the Biden administration was regulatory action and enforcement actions that were driving forward policy. This is our opportunity to have a clean start, to say, let's make sure that we're regulating this for the era of Web3 to force and to encourage the development of Web3 technology here in the United States. As we look out and see
So yeah, I mean, listen, this is a very, very big deal for all of Web3 and all of crypto. I think now is probably, like I said, the best time to be a crypto holder. I really do think that we should all be focused on these bills, especially if you are a utility crypto holder. XRP, Ripple, you know, these things that are now starting to happen in crypto reinforce what we've been talking about for years when it comes to companies like Ripple, crypto assets like XRP, HBAR, etc. And again, like I said, I think that this is only going to continue to heat up more and more and more. And it's such a historical time for the entire crypto market. I couldn't be happier about all of this, especially considering the fact that, you know, it's happening in the world's largest economy, an economy that almost the entire world is watching right now. So the fact that the US is getting this done is going to put immense amount of pressure on every single other nation. The UK is definitely the next one to watch, in my opinion. They are starting to really kind of move on crypto in a big way. But just think about what this is going to do for tokenized assets, for stablecoins. I mean, the stablecoin market, I know that this says $244 billion, but if we actually look over here at the stablecoin market, it's over $260 billion. And we can see that massive spike to the upside. I mean, stablecoins are just going crazy. ROUSD is going to be huge. And just to give you guys an insight on, you know, how significant this is, you know, stablecoins this year hit 1.1% of the global M2 money supply. Now that they just got a green light in the world's largest economy, think about how accelerated that percentage is going to grow to 2%, 5%, 10%. Like I said, from this point on, we will see trillions enter this market. This is going to be the craziest time for crypto. I'm very excited for what's to come. This is a huge day. It's a historical day, and history simply was just made. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, Nick, thanks for watching. Peace out.